Did we get the issues, ladies and gentlemen? Did we get the issues taken care of? I think we may have. Let's go live.
I think so.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Evan and Air Show presents the Red and Blue Soccer Chat. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another round of banter, laughter, love, and whatever you want to make it. I mean, that is what it is. Guys, it's
Live,
our
laugh,
year.
love.
Yeah, that's right. It's our year-end show. We're going to try and break down for you kind of what we're feeling right now, what's happening. Yeah, it's going to be somewhat not all over the place, but it's going to be a very, very interesting show. Possibly because I am extremely happy and I've been pre-gaming. And you know how that goes with your boy Evan. Yeah, drunk crowd comes in like, yeah. It's like, what's up? But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We appreciate you. We love you. I am just doing some quick checks, so I'm going to turn it over to my podcast mate.
It says we're live.
My man,
Are we making any noise up in here?
Yes.
though?
Hey, look, here, we are Livy.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Get in there. And we have sound. Hey, we've managed to overcome our age and technical difficulties. And
Wow.
so we are live on the Facebook, the
Facebooks.
YouTube, and at the bar known as Chatham Tap Fishers.
Hey.
Welcome, one and all. Glad to have you with us. It's end of season time. And no one is happier for that than me at this point in time. But let's get right to it.
Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, that was...
The way you've finished out the season,
Yeah.
It had kind of seemed to kind of get away from you there from the turn of the year on for a couple months.
Yes.
Some inconsistency, but managed to kind of reel it in toward the end here. Got enough results to clinch a top four, not even a top five, but a top four spot.
Right.
And then to go on and... I think probably a lot of people were thinking, oh, God, this is going to be like that Newcastle match where we just never really get a foothold in, give up an early goal.
Yeah.
But, here you are making a big comeback, scoring 4 goals in the last, about 25, 30 minutes of the match, and really asserting dominance in the way that Chelsea probably should have.
Yeah.
Which, obviously you're happy about this.
Yes.
Does the trophy mean more than fourth place? Does fourth place mean more than the trophy? I think we know, but it's nice to have gotten both. But
Sure.
How are you feeling as the season ends?
You know what? Honestly, man, I'm feeling some type of way about the trophy. It's the way we finished the season.
Mm-hmm.
It was scrappy. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, you really don't know what's going to happen from week to week.
Right.
Which Chelsea team is going to show up. Mm-hmm. For them to put on the little sprint toward the end, the last 3-4 games that we played, you got to give it up. Because this is a team that was struggling, that was limping coming into April. And the way they were able to finish in May, they found a way. Which I'm like, okay, I'm not too sad about that. The trophy thing for me put on display people like Dewsbury Hall, put on display, gave a chance for Badia Shield, for even my man Axel Disasi every once in a while toward the beginning of that, to be able to just come in and to be like, you know what, look, here's what we can do. Here's how we can do it. Mark, these are the guys that were able to get us there. And what we saw was the culmination of that. And here's what I'm most excited about. You saw Maresca's team out there today, guys. The first half, I really think, and I was sitting there and I was talking to a couple guys, and I was like, I think with Jackson coming back into the lineup, it just took some time for everybody to start, playing together like they could. Mm-hmm. And I think what you saw Chelsea, like you said, start to assert dominance in that second half, which if these guys had a chance to play together a lot more, if they had a chance to, during the course of the season, just keep this same type of team, I think that that's what we got a glimpse of today. We got a glimpse of, okay, that team that's actually able to come in and say, you know what, yeah, we're down 1-0, halftime, it's okay, we've got it. We had Cap come off the bench. You know, I was just so happy to see him in there. You know, I mean, when you put Reece James, when you have him come off the bench, that's a plus. You know, I just it was such a good thing to see. It was a good thing to see Jackson score. It was a good thing to see Caicedo score. These are the guys that I'm like, yes, this needs to happen. The way Cole Palmer set up Jackson for that goal was absolutely amazing. It was wonderful. It was a Chelsea win, and I think that we need to get used to this, guys. We need to get used to the fact that we are and can be now a team that kind of has that, okay, don't freak out. They scored in the 9th minute. It's okay. Don't freak out. Let this thing happen. It's kind of like Novocaine, right? I mean, eventually it'll take effect, and I think that's what we saw today. So, which is better? I don't think either one of them is better. I mean, yeah, it's the Conference League, and you can be like, it's Conference League. I think for this team, it was important to lift that trophy, because if you didn't win that, there's a lot of questions to be answered about, okay, how are we going into this next season? I think with that win today, we're going into the next season with a lot of hope. But there are two things that worry me. Two things. Number one, we have to shore up at midfield, and I was so glad to see Caicedo in midfield with Enzo today, because I was like, those two, I love me some Moises Caicedo. He has just probably been our MVP even through that rough spot that we had from January to March. And then number two, can Cole Palmer find his game during this offseason? Right. Can he get enough rest? Can he get back in form? Because today you saw flashes of it. Right. Yeah, but I think for a lot of March, April, May, we've seen flashes of Cole Palmer.
He's definitely showing the mileage
yes.
On him this season. It's been it's been long. He had a summer tournament that England went fairly far in, so there was there was a lot there. Yeah, and then these smaller, if you will, UEFA tournaments just have so many teams, so many games to play that it really wears you down. So he definitely does need a break. I don't know that he's really going to get one, though, because you're going to the Club World Cup, and then there's going to be national team duties and things of that nature. So I would like to think that in some of the early games here at the Club World Cup, you don't need to play a Cole Palmer and some of these other guys.
I mean, a certain Chelsea fan is going to be in Atlanta on June 16th and would love to see him play. But you know what? What's best for the club, though? I'm like, I would love to see him play, but if he needs time off, he needs time off. That's just the way it is, right? So anyway, that's my take.
June 16, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see most
of it. No.
I would doubt you see the entire starting line. If you do,
it'll be on the sidelines.
They might start, 8 of the 11, but I have a feeling the goal will be to be up 3-0 at halftime and make mass changes. I don't know what the rules for this tournament are, and honestly, I find it to be a bit of a not even joke isn't the right word.
No,
it's an absolute money grab.
Sure, absolutely.
Does not serve any purpose. No one was crying out for this tournament aside from Saudi billionaires.
No, and that is the absolute truth. I will, however, gladly donate my little chump change to that to see the club play. But overall, I feel pretty good about Chelsea. Yes, there are things to address in the offseason, absolutely. And this is a question I'm going to ask you about United, so be ready. But as far as Chelsea, Chelsea's in the same group as pretty much every other team other than Man City, and Isak is a legitimate striker. I'm sorry. I think
don't apologize. He's probably one of the better strikers in the league.
Exactly. So I think Man City, I think Newcastle, they're good. They've got their number 9. I think.
Newcastle didn't make the Champions League, did they?
No. Oh wait, yeah.
So
did they?
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, they made it.
Okay.
They made it.
Okay, then they might be able to hang on to Isak.
So I think they're going to hang on to him.
Suitors are coming in for him.
Sure.
He's going to want to know who they're bringing in.
I get it.
And who's leaving.
I get it. But I think that, they're in the same spot as, quite frankly, as an Arsenal, as a Liverpool. Even though you have Mo Salah, he's not a pure number 9. The guy can score from anywhere, but he's not a pure number 9. That's not what he does. And I think that every team besides those two are probably going to be looking for number 9. Don't you think?
I'm going to have to do something here real quick.
Oh, okay. Please. Well, while you're doing that, the other thing I think Chelsea needs, too, is to unload some people. Let's get rid of some people. Let's go ahead and trim down the roster. But in doing that, be ready for what we saw this year in the Conference League. Like, we had 2 kind of separate teams, but then toward the end, we saw the merging of those teams. I don't know.
This is where I need to push back on where you're going.
Please, push back.
Mo Salah was the highest goal scorer in the league, so it doesn't matter if he's actually a number 9
I get it.
or not.
I get it.
I mean, that, and he hasn't been. He's always played off an angle.
Right.
They've never used him as a focal point like that, so that's not why he's out there. He actually is an absolutely pure goal scorer.
I know he's a pure goal scorer. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, like,
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But the thing is he's getting old, and they're going to need to start thinking about bringing somebody in. Isak is the big question mark. Does he decide to stay at Newcastle, or does he go and strengthen one of these other teams? I mean, look, Arsenal don't have a top scorer in the top.
Wow.
35. Kai Havertz,
my gosh.
who didn't
Tied
play
for 26th.
who didn't play half the season.
Tied for 26th.
So, I mean,
wow.
that's nuts to me.
That's crazy. Guys, listen, we have reached halftime. And, I think just...
Do we have a straggler? Or
just
is it just
JoJo.
All right.
Yep, there we go.
It's not just JoJo. It's JoJo.
Hey, you know what? Just JoJo is all we need.
As ever.
That's it.
Thank you to Chatham Tap for letting us do this. Normal opening this weekend because, well, there's just no league games on. But Champions League, it will be on at 3 o'clock. I'm guessing you should probably get here early. I'm hoping it's going to be a good game. PSG versus Inter. So we don't have the normal massive clubs that you think of, but these are two teams that have played incredible this year. Saturday at 3.
But you know, it is. It's the end of the EPL.
Indeed.
But you know what? We'll be here.
It's not nearly as sad for me.
But there is something to be said about carrying momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it did not end the way that you wanted to. However, I'm playing this.
Well,
I'm just saying, man.
I mean, without Bruno, we get relegated this year.
That is a big statement.
That's not a hot take.
I don't want to believe it.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to believe it, man.
Okay. There was Bruno and then 10 other guys most days.
So opening up with Man U, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of, and I hate calling it this because, God, people are like, oh, well, let's do an autopsy of the election and find out where. No. But I kind of wanted to do an autopsy of Man U to find out, okay, where are the bright spots? Where are the spots where we could say, okay, look, this is a reason to be excited about things. This is a reason to absolutely be able to say, look, we can build on this. This is something we can build on. And then where are the places, do you think, that are like, you know what? Nope, we need to trim this out. This is a cancer. We need to it needs to be gone. Are there any spots like that stick out to you as, in my life, one of the consummate Man U fans?
There are really only two, if you will, bright spots. And that is, we have Ahmad and Kobe. And we can build around their talent, their youth, and hopefully put, something on the field next season that begins to move us in the correct direction. Other than that, there is honestly nothing to take away from this season. This was the worst season I have ever witnessed as a fan of this team.
Wow.
And it's not even close. I
Wow.
mean, it's really not even close. And what I don't understand is, under Ten Hag, under Amram, there were games where they played incredibly good football for a certain period of time.
Yeah,
but the number of games that they drew 1-1 that they should have won 1-0,
Yeah.
and lost 2-1.
Yeah.
That should have just been a 1-1 draw. I mean,
So-
there is a cancer somewhere in this team, and we need exploratory surgery on it. And I don't think we have guys with the guts to do that.
So, not even being able to brag, hey, Manchester's red this year. Like being able to say, look, we beat City. I mean, you can't even hang your hat on that, do you think?
In 5 years, no one will remember what we did.
Yeah,
no one will remember that we actually played decent in some big games, because when it really came time to show it, we failed, and we failed against fucking Spurs.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Onana is gone?
I wouldn't have said so a few weeks ago, but boy, the fan outcry against him, and I mean, he's being scapegoated, quite a bit, and it may be in everyone's best interest to part ways, because the way he was playing over the last couple of months was demonstrative of a goalie who's completely lost all confidence.
Yeah, wow.
You look at Onana and you look at Højlund, and these are guys who are playing a position that truly require you to be in the right headspace and to be able to focus, because what you're called on to do is so infrequent and needs to be so precise.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cole Palmer can weather a couple of months of just playing okay because he can figure out other ways to contribute.
Sure.
But if Andre Onana doesn't come and catch a ball, and Rasmus Højlund doesn't turn a side footer into the net, then they serve no purpose.
Yeah.
And Onana, they both look absolutely just broken, shaken, have no confidence in their games whatsoever. And to come out, I mean, I don't know why we scheduled this game so soon after the end of the season, but we lost to a group of no-name Asian all-stars today. And don't get me started on Ruben Amorim, such a badass that he walked into the locker room and told Alejandro Garnacho, you better pray you find a team to play for next season, and that, Amorim's staying and Garnacho needs to leave. And then you turn around and start him in the first game of us on tour. I mean, talk about mixed signals.
True.
And
That's very true.
also, I get it. We're trying to make some money, but really, 3 days after the end of the Premier League, we have flown to fucking Malaysia to play a game just because we're broke and need the money. From where this club was when I became aware of it, and what it was growing into, and then grew into, and then this whatever Alex Ferguson left behind. And by the way, he bears some responsibility for the state of this team.
Sir Alex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
can you explain? Can you expound on that?
He wanted to win one last title, and he did. But all of the players that were left, most of the players that were left, you still had Wayne Rooney and a few others, but I mean, he squeezed the last little bit of life out of that team and left nothing behind.
Gotcha.
And the biggest mistake that the club made was not just Fergie leaving and David Moyes coming in, because I think David Moyes wasn't that bad of a choice necessarily.
Sure.
But I've said it before, Fergie and David Gill leaving and bringing in Ed Woodward, who has no clue what he's doing at all, and David Moyes, who's never had a big checkbook to work with.
Sure.
It was a recipe for disaster. And think of what we had done. We had just won a league, and the very next season we finished in 7th place, and people were like, "Oh, this is the worst it could possibly get." We finished in 16th, didn't raise anything this year, and got beat by Spurs, who finished beneath us in the league. You would have to be on ecstasy to be finding any positives from this season, other than we've got some young players that have talent, and I'd like to build around it. Yeah. But I have seen nothing from this club that makes me feel remotely confident that we're going to go out and be smart in the transfer window. Now, we've been linked with Cunha, we've been linked with Delap. Sounds like those are going to be good deals. But again, we're putting our eggs in the basket of 18, 19-year-old kids that are proven at the lower level.
True.
Not here.
But maybe I don't know. I'm trying to find something for you, man. I mean, being one of the youngest teams in the league, Chelsea. It seems like if they can keep the core of their team together, okay, cool. I think that they can start to really, really gel. But you look at the people that are still with Man U. Mm-hmm. You do have a Victor Lindelof. You do have a Mazraoui.
No, we don't.
Oh, you don't have Lindelof.
No.
You've got Mazraoui. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been drinking. Harry's 32. But I think you keep Maguire around. Keep him around.
I have no problem giving him a contract extension. Let's go down the list. Lindelof is gone. Mazraoui's probably been the buy of the season.
Yes.
But I'm still not sure what his best position is in Amorim's system.
I think you keep De Ligt.
Obviously, keep De Ligt.
Yes.
Keep Maguire. This is a huge question mark. Is he gonna come back and be able to play football at this level?
I don't know.
I would question it.
That's the kid right there.
Dorgu. He's fun to watch. He's powerful. But he's still pretty raw, and at 20 years old, he needs to start figuring out how to pass better and stuff. Yoro's been fine. Delote is serviceable.
Sure.
Luke
That's
Shaw,
a big question right there, man.
At 29, I'd let him go. I don't know where his contract is, but I'd let him go.
Do you not think he's one of those players that are like United through and through? That's like, okay, we need to keep him.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Heaven. I mean, we just brought him in, and he's young, so that's fine. Johnny Evans deserves a proper send-off. We should give him a what do they call him? A centennial or a centurion or whatever. Harry Amass, yes, young, good. I thought he needed to play more, so I want to see more of him. Tyler Frederickson, same. Haven't seen this guy at all. Habib Oguneye, Jaden Camison. I think he got both of these have no stats. So they
must have just come up.
Godwill Kukonki, again, 17 years old, 6'5", 185. I mean, let's see. It's time to it's time to start giving these kids an opportunity to see if they will step up. There's a history at this club.
Sure.
Mason Mount all depends on where his contract is, because
he started to come on toward the end of the season.
He did. He was playing very well, and he looked like he wanted it.
Yes.
Like give me the ball, I will do things.
Yes.
Bruno,
I mean,
I love the guy, but he's 30 years old, and somebody wants to offer us $100 million for him.
Oh,
and that finances right there a couple of the players that you want before you've ever had to sell anybody, right? Eriksson is gone. Casemiro most likely gone. I mean, I think he started today in Malaysia as well, but I mean, realistically, 33 years old. The legs are mostly gone. He did play well this year, and his statistics bear that out. But we're paying this guy $375,000 a week, and I mean, there's no way he's going to play 38
That's a heavy
games
burden.
next year.
That is a heavy burden.
Ugarte, I like him. He took a while to settle in, but he's fine.
There he is.
Kabi Mainu, I mean, here's the thing.
Sky's limit for that.
But he's getting frustrated because he's not getting used when he's healthy, and where does he really truly fit in Amorim's system? Because, hey, if you sell Bruno and then give Kabi the keys and say you're the 8, you're the guy.
Yeah.
Or the 10, however you want to look at it.
Yep.
Sekou Kone, I mean, we just brought him in. You haven't really seen much from him.
Sure.
Again, 19 years old. Toby Collier, youngster, 21. He when he's healthy, looks good. Jack Fletcher, I mean,
I was going to say, look at the next 5 to 6
for
guys.
no other reason you keep him around because
they're young.
He's Darren's kid, and he'll punch you.
Yeah.
Scanlon, Morehouse, Fitzgerald, Montado.
I mean, they're all teenagers.
Yeah, but they're all zeros and D and P's across the board, so we just don't have a clue, right?
Sure.
Hopefully the summer tour, these guys get some minutes, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, maybe this guy's got something.
Yeah.
Rasmus, I mean, I wouldn't get rid of him, but boy, we need to bring in somebody else to support him. Xerxes, I thought he managed to figure out where he belonged in the team. So unless somebody comes in with a great offer again, I would hold on to him. Ahmad, definitely. I mean, wrap him in cotton wool like Covey.
That's the guy right there.
Garnacho, I mean,
you think he's gone?
I think he's gone. I think there are just too many issues. His brother leaking things from the locker room. It's funny what he said after the game kind of split people because some people were like, well, he's pissed off and I want a guy like that. And other people are like, you don't air that kind of grievance and throw your team under the bus.
I agree with you on that.
I don't know. That there's clearly talent there, and it's going to piss me off because he'll go to like Celta Vigo.
No,
and yeah, how's our guys been working out for you?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Sancho did score today.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, you're about to pay us $5 million to take him back.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. And then Cheeto Obi, I mean, he's 17 years old. He's a physical specimen. I'm not sure why we haven't tried to put him on the field more, other than maybe Amram was trying to protect him while we're in a position to be just getting our asses kicked. So, I mean, that's the outfield players. Goalkeeping, I mean, if you asked me a month ago, I would have said we don't need to worry about it, but we may have to dip in the transfer market. And I don't like the fact that we've been connected with Emi Martinez. Good goalkeeper, but I can't stand him.
Why not pour into Bayendier? I don't understand.
Because he's just
6'6", 192.
But nothing about him says he could play the way they want to play. He's a traditional goalkeeper, and there's a reason nobody had ever heard of him before he came to Manchester United.
That's true.
So I mean, he didn't play well for Turkey either. So I mean, just question marks around the whole thing.
Okay.
And I'll never be able to do it, but I'm quite hoping to just not think about Manchester United for about a month, focus on some other things, enjoy my summer, because we get linked with every player on the planet because it's Manchester United, and then they end up going to Arsenal or some shit like that, and then we buy some other player that sounds okay when he first comes in, and then we just absolutely destroy him because he's not ready, and we don't have a system.
That's what happens.
I mean, look, Amram, I guess, gets until Christmas this year.
Good point. Good point. Well, is there anything else you would like to?
No, I kind of want to turn off all my United like Twitter accounts and shit like that because I just don't want to see it right now.
Right.
I really don't.
I hear you.
And until they show back up with a real squad in August, I'm just indifferent because I can't control it. I can't do anything. They don't take my calls, and they for some reason won't let me in.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it. But
it's just monumentally frustrating right now.
Right.
And I'm a fan. I've been a fan, but I'm enduring something that I never thought I would have to endure as a Manchester United
fan. That is a hell of a segue because I was getting ready to say, guys, look, during this summer, the Evan and Aaron Show and the Red and the Blue Soccer Chat will be unleashing their #BeAFan T-shirts.
Merch.
The merch. We'll be unleashing those probably in July, I think. You'll see us with those shirts on. You guys can get one of them, and we will be able to put up the link after we have ours on. So there you go.
Good Lord. Sorry, folks. We have the Indy 11 game on in the
I saw that.
here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Apparently, we have somebody the size of a tight end playing midfield for us because he's mad. Did you see
huge?
him?
Yes.
He's not quite Akin Fenway big, but he's pretty big. I mean, he's just you're a soccer player. That's crazy.
Wow.
And
I thought that was Adama Traore. I was like, holy crap,
dude. Solid. I'm gonna have to look up who that is.
Here we go.
Yes.
Let's talk some USA.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the narrative around the team right now is just one that seems a little bit in disarray. You've got Pulisic requesting to not be around for the friendlies and the Gold Cup because he says, he's kind of he's played a lot of games.
Kind of tired.
He's a bit worn out. I don't know. I see both sides of the argument. The guy is our warhorse, and
sure.
we need him to be healthy. But there's also the notion of, this guy wears the captain armband, and we call him Captain America, and you want to see him out there leading the team in, a Gold Cup is a real competition. Again, it's not quite the Club World Cup, but I tell you what, I'd much rather win the World Cup next summer because Christian Pulisic took the summer off and got himself healthy and could be ready to go. But it's beyond that. Antony Robinson's been hurt for the last few months of the season, was barely training and just playing, and that's always a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Ended up having surgery. I believe it's on a knee. I don't know the details of it.
Yeah.
Yunus Musa is out for undisclosed personal reasons. And then we've got Weah, McKennie, and Gio Reyna and other players missing through Club World Cup and other obligations. So this is going to be an MLS-heavy team, which in some ways might be decent for us. We can find out who some of the supporting cast can be, because I'll say this, I don't really miss Gio Reyna.
He brings some baggage to the team every time he plays.
He brings baggage. He can't stay healthy.
No.
And, what's his position? How do we use him? I just think there's a lot of question marks around it. So, we need to sort out our goalkeeping situation, because I don't think we have as strong a goalkeeper as we've had in the past. I'd say where we're most solid when we're healthy is in defense. I think we've got some good players that are playing at high-level clubs. Yep. Obviously, our midfield is solid because of the guys playing, overseas as well. Scoring goals is still the big question mark. Look at the scores against the teams that we lost to in last season, and then this year in the friendlies. It's not looking great so far. But you know what? Maybe you give somebody an opportunity and they shine for you. So,
exactly. And I think it comes down to trust, right? It comes down to trust. Do you trust your international players to show up next year? I think we talked about this before in one of our podcasts, but it's like, you do have to pick your battles here. Yes, the Gold Cup, absolutely. That would be great to win. 100%. That'd be wonderful to win. But you have to, at some point, listen to your players. It's a different game than it was whenever,
when Alexi Lawless is talking trash about guys, I'm like, you didn't play at this level.
No.
You weren't asked to do this. The game was different.
Yes.
You literally played old school defense. You stood around a lot. Man.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And so, the players are being asked to do more today than they ever have been asked to do. So it comes down to trust. Do we trust the fact that our players really do understand what it is to put that flag on their uniform and to play for the U.S.?
I don't. That's a better narrative. These guys don't know what it means, and they've demonstrated that in the last few games. They really don't understand what it means. And to me, there's no question that these guys are the most talented bunch of players that we've ever put out on the field.
100%.
And it isn't that I don't think they care. I don't think they view it as any different than when they go play for their club.
Do you think
there needs to be something about wearing that crest that changes your mindset and how you play and what you're willing to do.
Do you think that injury is in their minds a little too much?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're very overly concerned with managing minutes. In my opinion, it's a bit of the downside of all the analytics that have come into the game, which they're a huge benefit, and these guys are all wearing their sports bras that have the telemetry and all that stuff. And it's fantastic to know best starting positions, top speed, and all that stuff. But I also think there's something to be said for just 22 guys walking out on the field and rolling the ball out and saying, go for it.
Yes, human wherewithal. It's like, you know what, look, it is just what it is. And so, I think that's my...
Are we joysticking too much? You know what I mean? That's the argument against Pep Guardiola is that he has such a rigid system and is constantly telling guys where they need to be. I mean, look, Jack Grealish has a job to do on a soccer field for Manchester City, but you bought him because he's a flair player.
Mm-hmm.
He does things other people won't do. He takes chances that other people don't. And it would appear it's been coached out of him a bit. And I'd say the same applied to Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford at United. They've rediscovered some form. But, I mean, it looks like they're playing in such rigid systems that the things that they're intangibles don't get to shine.
Man. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our segment for the USA.
Well, hold on.
Oh, you've got a little more. Oh, let's talk about ladies. Yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah, the ladies play this Saturday afternoon. So while you're watching the end of the Champions League,
there you go.
Have them flip right over to China. I don't know where China is ranked in the world right now, but historically they've given us a good game.
I think you're in top 10.
I wouldn't be surprised. Jamaica probably not going to be as difficult a match, but we've got players hurt right now. So getting other players in, being able to see if they're ready to go is a huge bonus. And wow, we went from being 1-up to 2-1 down in a matter of about 5 minutes here. So
and that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I mean, just a lapse in concentration right there by the India 11.
We've got.
Oh, that's a nice.
Multiple injuries here with the women's national team. Something good to build on. Obviously, our Arsenal won the Champions League, and Chelsea won the Premier League for I think the third year in a row, and also the FA Cup. So, our English-based players obviously having a good season. Manchester United, I finished second or third, so we're still up there. Our couple gals. So, we're still competing, and I have a lot of faith in Emma Hayes, and if anybody's going to figure out how to chisel a squad together out of what's around here, I think it'll be her. So I'm not as concerned. And again, these are all friendlies. I'm more concerned about the two games for the men going into the Gold Cup because I could see Turkey and Switzerland beating us handily, especially with so many MLS-based players.
Sure.
Also, we have a Turkey and Swiss.
Well, hey, there you go. Well done, sir. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have gone through our 3 sections of our show that talks about the footy football. However, the next 2 sections, we have no idea. Actually, I do have an idea because our next section is the Hey Aaron segment, and I have carefully crafted this Hey Aaron segment for you, my friend. We've reached the end of 2024, 2025 season. We have our top 5 teams who are going to make it into the Champions League. I would love to get your prediction. Will there be an EPL Champions League champion or not? And just going through them real quick, where do you think the top 5 teams are going to finish? And you will not hurt my feelings because I think I probably agree with you as far as Chelsea's concerned. So let's see what you say.
I do not. I do not think any of these 5 teams really have it in them to make a deep run. Liverpool, it'll depend on where Liverpool focus, because obviously they're one of the top teams in the world. They're going to want to repeat in the Premier League, but they're also going to want to go further in the Champions League. And let's face it, they were involved in 2 of the best games against PSG that I mean, not just this year, that I've seen. I mean, that second match was absolutely incredible. So I think they're the most likely to be able to make a deep run in the Champions League next season. It'll depend on where they strengthen. Obviously, bringing in Florian Wirtz helps them out, gets more goals in. We'll see if that sale gets done. I have question marks, and I've had question marks over their back line for a little bit, and anytime they've gotten hurt, that's borne out. I don't think this was a vintage Liverpool side. I think they managed to find the most amount of consistency over the course of the season. I'm not taking anything away from them, but at some point in time, you're going to have to look at Virgil van Dijk and say, can he continue to do this? Can this squad continue to do it? But I think they're most likely. Arsenal, to me, are just, there's a good team in there. There is, and I don't like them. I don't like their manager, and I don't like how they play when, especially in the Champions League or a big game. To me, they just turn immediately into Atletico Madrid, and it's just constant, dark art shithousery kind of bullshit. when they have enough talent to just beat you straight up. I don't get
Sure.
it. City, I think next year going to have a rebuild. I'm certain they'll still finish in the top 4 or 5. But there's questions. Obviously, there's questions over the, whether they're not going to get points deduction. My conspiracy theory is that they found out a while ago, and it's been hard for them to focus to win games when you know you're going to get docked points.
Yep.
But I could be wrong because I think some people would have made the decision to just get out. So not really sure. We'll see where that goes. It's sad that this whole thing's taken this long. Like, there's either an issue or there isn't. Let's quit pretending we either have tons of evidence or nothing at all.
Sure.
Like
right.
The Epstein files. Chelsea. I think they'll continue to improve. But I think.
Do they make it out of the group stage?
That's going to all depend on the balls that come out of the pot. I mean, you're. I don't know how they do the coefficient and stuff like that now. I don't know if you're going to be in, are you going to be in pot 3? So, you run the risk of playing Real Madrid out the gate or something like that, just really kind of depends.
Yeah.
I would put money that Chelsea will not win the Champions
League.
They could get out of the group. I mean, they're a decent squad, and you could sell 40 players and still have too many guys. So there should be money available. It'll just depend on who you can bring in.
Sure.
Sure. Everybody's looking for the same striker. Everybody's looking for the same center back. Everybody's looking for the same playmaker, and there aren't that many of them. And then Newcastle, they've been fun to watch this year.
They've been a streaky team, haven't they? Just really, yeah.
Yeah, obviously they did decent in the Europa. Villa did a nice job as well. It was fun to watch them. So hopefully Newcastle could be that team. Again, it's going to really depend on who they can bring in and who they can keep, because if Alexander Isak goes, then that's a good team without goals.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And, there's been rumors of Tonali leaving, other players. So it'll really just depend. It sounds like Guimaraes may leave, so there's a lot of that.
It's actually a 2-part Hey Aaron segment. Going to the teams moving up, any of those 3, do they stay?
Let's see. What we got here?
Oh,
English.
You changed the year, maybe.
English League Championship. There
you go.
Okay. I think Leeds will probably figure out a way to stay up.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
The problem for the teams that come up is, how many players can you keep your hands on? How are you able to improve your squad? And does the style of play that you've been playing that was successful in a lower league, does it translate to the Premier League? Sometimes you see teams that just ran over everybody, but you can't play that way on a day-to-day basis against City and Liverpool and Chelsea. Versus teams that, understand having a balanced squad. I think Leeds demonstrated over the course of the season, first off, amazing here. 2 teams on 100 points at the end of the season is
even
fantastic.
90 points.
Yeah. And granted, they do play more games, but still, that's impressive.
That's crazy.
The nice thing is all 3 of these clubs have a history in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
Know what it takes to play at this level.
Yep.
You'd like to think their ownership does, and you'd like to think the managers do as well. If I was going to bet on anybody, it would be Leeds.
Okay. All right.
I don't think they can do what we've seen Forest and Brentford do in the last couple of seasons, where they're a top 10 team straight out of the gate. But I wouldn't rule it out either. I mean, Leeds has history, and it's going to be fun to have them back in the Premier League next year. They're a huge rival of Manchester United, so this will be great.
So the last little piece is it's a audio clip that I want you to identify. Oh. I'm going to try and make sure it plays. So here we go, guys.
That is a massive decision. What a huge decision given by Michael Oliver.
Yeah, I know exactly what this is, and it's one of the greatest finishes to a game. It really is.
Let me fast forward because it is just amazing. This is Leicester.
A late PK given that should not have been given.
Yes, absolutely. So here we go.
A penalty saved. twice. A double save, and then immediately up the other end to score a winner to take you up. Manuel Almunia.
Absolutely astonishing. Now here come Watford.
Not waiting around.
Forestieri. Here's Hawk.
Troy Deeney. Forever. Forever a hero. Forever a hero.
Really seeing the most extraordinary finish
Yeah,
here.
it's amazing. I highly
is
recommend YouTubing it.
amazing.
It's wonderful. It's
Chills, man. Just absolute chills.
It's Watford and
Watford and Leicester.
yeah.
I
This
mean,
is about.
just
I
that.
want to say this is
And then boom,
7 years
bam,
ago, something like that.
Right there. 10 years.
10 years. Wow.
10 years, man, since that iconic goal was scored. Guys, listen, thank you so much. That was the Hey Aaron segment. Let me hear from the drunk crowd. There it is. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We have come to my favorite segment, the segment where I get to sit back and just listen to my friend wax eloquently, and that is the Aaron's final thoughts. Guys, just grab your final drink, sit back, and listen to these warm bars that are getting ready to be spit at us. All right? That's what I'm saying. I just set you up, brother. What do you got for us tonight, man?
Well, we're going to have that merch, and that merch is always a reminder to be a fan. And what I mean by that is, season's about to end, but it doesn't mean you stop being a fan. You're a fan of your team. You're a fan of your friends. You're a fan of being an ally. And we are about to enter June and Pride Month and have an opportunity to physically demonstrate that rather than just say, I am an ally. And that is to put on your colors, show up, show out, stand side by side, and say, not on my watch. We're not going to go back. We've come too far to allow cruel, narcissistic people set us back. So continue to be a fan of your community, continue to be a fan of your friends, and being a fan means acting the right way at the right time. Not acting a fool, not looking like the LA Galaxy and San Diego FC fans did last week for no good reason. Not like we've seen at the end of other matches where people can't handle taking an L. Hey, we took an L, and we're still here. And we're going to continue to be here, and we're going to be fans, and we're going to show up, and we're going to show out. We will be out for Pride, and we will be out all summer. And I can tell you, nobody's got a monopoly on what it means to be an American and a patriot, so I'm going to be a fan of this country on the 4th of July. At the exact same time, I'm saying it can be better, because that's what being a fan is. And you know what? Manchester United can be better. Chelsea can be better.
Yes.
I can be better. You can be better. We can all be better. Let's make a conscious decision to be a fan and be better. We will see you this summer. Take care.
And that, my friends, is why we have Aaron's final thoughts at the end of this show, guys. Listen, oh my, I just get, just going all over the place.
We went early for the July show, apparently.
Guys, listen, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We love each and every one. Drunk crowd is going crazy. They absolutely love it. They're going to be with us there at Pride, too. We're going to get started early that day. But, guys, listen, hashtag Black People Vote.
Hashtag say gay.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We love you. Peace.